Essentially, these are not first order reactions, but act like first order reactions. Some of the conditions. Is my voice breaking? Is my voice lagging?
Yes, sir. Your voice is lagging.
No, sir, it's fine.
It's fine now.
Yes, sir.
Let's do first order reaction. Pseudo first order reaction. That means reactions that first order reaction. These are second order reaction or some n order reaction, but behave like reactions. Okay, they behave like first order reactions. Please write the definition first of all. Reactions which are how is it now? Any better?
Yes, sir. Now it's better.
Okay. The reactions which are not truly first order but under certain conditions. But under certain condition, what they will behave? They behave as first order reactions. But under certain conditions, they behave as first order reactions. These type of reactions, these reactions called as pseudo first order reaction. Pseudo first order reaction. Okay. So for example, please see the example. You have, let us say, a reactant A, and the second reactant is water. Okay, second reactant is water. Now let us suppose that we have 1 mole of A, and we have, let us suppose, 2 liters, or let us say 10 liters of H2O. 10 liters will mean how much? It will mean 55.56 is in 1 liter. So 10 liters will have 555.56 mole of H2O. Okay. And this is giving you some product speed. This is giving you some product speed. But tell me, what will happen? What will how will the rate change? Tell me. I change the concentration of water. This A is 1 mole only, but I increase the concentration of water to, let us say, 560 moles. Now tell me, will there be any significant change in the rate of reaction? Will there be any significant change in the rate of reaction? No, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. There will be no change in reaction, right? Because we have, I mean, there is no significant change in water concentration. So those reactions in which the solvent itself is one of the reactant. The solvent itself is one of the reactant. In those cases, these reactions, they depend They depend on the water, but the rate does not depend on water. Okay, the rate, it will not depend on one of the rate will not depend in one of those reactant. So these type of reactions are known as pseudo first order. For example, you have, let us say, CS3, C double bond O, OC2H5, OC2H5. Okay, plus water, plus water. Now what will happen in the presence of H plus? This is what? This is an ester, right? This is an ester. The ester will break down like this, and it will form carboxylic acid and alcohol. So you will get CS3, C double bond O, OH plus C2H5, OH. Okay, so this is ester, this is water, and this is your acid, the carboxylic acid. This is alcohol. This is alcohol. Now, hydrolysis of ester is one of the examples of pseudo first order. What happens? The water, it is present as solvent and it is in excess. Now, when this is in excess, we write the rate. We write the rate as K CH3COOC2H5 into the concentration of water. But throughout the reaction, let us say this is K dash, but throughout the reaction, the concentration of water, it does not change significantly. Okay, a very small amount of water, which is used as a solvent, is used and it's consumed. That is why this H2O also becomes a kind of a constant, and we say that that is the true rate constant here. Okay, because the concentration of H2O is not changing, that is why it is also a constant. That is why I will write that this is the true rate, which is equal to CH3COO C2H5. Okay, so this is the rate of this particular reaction. This is the rate of this particular reaction. Why? Because H2O is, the concentration of H2O is essentially constant. So please write this example in the definition. Raise your hand if you're done.
So what is that Ca?
Carboxylic acid.
Second school.
Now you have to scroll up. This is the pseudo first order reaction. That's it. I've written nothing else in the portions here. Pseudo first order reactions. Amalia is done. I write one more example here. In those reaction in which hydrolysis of cane sugar or inversion of cane sugar happens, you have sugar. What is the formula for sugar? It is C12 H22 O11 plus H2O. Okay. Now this will give you glucose and fructose. C6H12O6 plus C6H12O6. But this is one of them as glucose The other one is fructose. This is sugar. This is water. This water is in excess. This water is in excess. That is why the rate of these type of reaction, inversion of sugar. Okay. So it will be equal to, it will only depend on the concentration of sugar. That is why K into the concentration of C12H22O11. So this will be the rate equation. This will be the rate equation. But keep in mind the molecularity, the number of molecules that are taking part in reaction are 2. So molecularity is 2, but the order is 1. Okay, but the order is 1. This is the true rate, right? This is the true rate. Order is 1. Please raise your hand if you're done. इससे इंटरनेट धोखा दे रहा है भाई. Please write this. Raise your hand. You're done. Okay, Abir and Amalia are done.
Yes, sir.
A simple question. Determine the molecularity and order of the following reaction. Okay, the reaction is CH3, COO, besides CH3, plus H2, the presence of H plus, and this is a reversible type of reaction also. Sometimes it is given as reversible, but we will, I mean, if it is given as reversible, you don't have to worry. Okay, this is the reactant. Okay, this is the reactant. And that's what you have to remember. H plus, and this will give you COH. Plus CH3OH. So the options are the molecularity 0, rate is 1, Yes, Ahmed, correct. Yes, Amaya, correct. Only Amalia and those of you who not figure this out, we have the reaction. This is what? Ester, right? This is ester, this is water. Ester and water. And this is reaction. Okay. One of them is an excess, one of them is an excess. Then what will happen?
Your voice is
That particular reactant. What is happening? Okay. Is it still cracking?
no, sir.
Okay. So whenever you have a reaction in which one of the reactant is in excess, then that
Sir,
reactant
it is cracking.
it does not.
Yes, sir, it is correct.
कलम नहीं मिल रहा था अभी वॉइस क्रैक कर रहा है. What about now? Is it fine now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I was saying is that if you have a reaction in which one of the reactant is in excess, that means the concentration of that reactant which is in excess, if we change that concentration, that will not much affect the rate of the reaction. And that is why if something is in very much excess, that is not very much consumed also in the while the reaction is going on. That is why in the rate equation, we will not write H2O. We will not write H2 in the rate equation. So that is why the order will be 1. That means the rate will only depend on the concentration of ester. So where is the one option? This option has 1 here and this option has 1 here. Now we have to look at the molecularity, right? Molecularity. Now molecularity, we can see that it is, there are two molecules which are reacting. There are two molecules. So that is why which will be option correct? This option will be correct. Okay. Now write another question. The half-life of a first order reaction. The half-life of a first order reaction is X. And 3/4 of the same reaction and 3/4 of the same reaction is Y. What's the relationship between what is the relation between X and Y? Answer. Y is equal to half of X. B. X is equal to half of Y. C. X and Y is equal to 2. Or D. X by Y is equal to 2. अच्छा, लेट मी आस्क फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ऑफ यू. अबीर, थोड़ा भी समझ में आ रहा है कैसे करना होगा इसको?
No, sir.
अहमद,
No, sir, not really, but I'm Imagining stuff.
Amalya,
Yes, sir.
Amalya.
Yes, sir.
Oh, chat. I have to uh, do you have any plan on how to approach this question?
No, sir. Sir, but it was
Amalya,
fun.
I'm asking Amalya. I'm asking Amalya. Yes, Amalya. Do you have any
Sir,
approach? Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Then, okay, so nothing is coming in your mind na, how to approach this question, right? Everyone agrees. Okay. What about Sanya? Do you have anything in mind? No. Okay. Fine. Now, what is the what's something that you recognize here? What is something that you recognize here? You recognize half-life and first order. Yes or no? Everyone recognizes these words at least.
Yes.
What about Abir, Amalya, Sanya? Sanya is also saying yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Yes, you recognize this. Okay. Half-life of first order reaction. So what is the half-life of first order reaction?
X.
You don't remember that? 0.693. There is a formula. You have to remember this formula. भाई
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
हाँ भैया याद करना होगा ये सब ठीक है T half is equal to 0.693 divided by K. That is now as you can see that T half, okay, and also and the time taken for any kind of reaction na, that does not depend on the concentration. It will not depend on the concentration, initial concentration of the reactant. So what I can do the next thing is I can make a timeline kind of thing. This timeline is very important and is very conceptually very handy tool if you are dealing with first order reactions. Okay, so this is somewhere half. This is half, right? Now the time taken to reach here is how much? 0.693 divided by K. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. This is T half. Okay. Now we have to vote T 3/4. Now, this is if this is 50% of the reaction, 3/4 will be how much? अरे भाई आपके यहाँ क्या चल रहा है? Ahmed, 75% ना? So somewhere here. Yes or no? T 3/4.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Now what I will do? I will trace this reaction. Now here whatever reactant is remaining, okay, whatever reaction is happening here, this is again the half of this, right? If I take this and this as one complete reaction, this is the other half now. Yes or no?
Sir.
Right? Now very carefully, okay, very carefully, from 0 to 50% completion, T half is equal to 0.693 divided by K. Now, from 50%, but this is a new zero. If I say that, see, the one thing is that first order reaction, it does not depend on the half-life does not depend on, right? The half-life does not depend on the concentration. That means it means that if I take 10 mole here, the amount that will be remaining here will be 5 mole, right? Now again, the half of 5 is how much? 2.5. That will also take the same amount of time, 0.693 K. You understand this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. From
Yes, sir.
50%, that is the new zero. Okay, that is the new initial reaction that is happening. Okay, because it is not dependent on the concentration. It is not dependent on the concentration, but it is only dependent on the rate of reaction. Okay, it's only dependent on the rate of reaction. From 50% to 75%. Now this 75% is the new 50, right? T will be equal to how much? The same 0.693 divided by K. So again 0.693 divided by K. That is why if I trace in the timeline like this, T half, T3 4. Now from here, what can happen? You can again take half somewhere. That is why this is 0.693 by K. Now from here to here, this is again 0.693 by K. Now from here to here, it is again 0.693 by K. Now you can do again half and half. That is why you have seen that the first order reaction they never complete. The time taken for that is infinity. Now this is the same like if you have two distance A and B. Okay. Now how you have to travel, how you have to reach from A point to B point. The way you have to reach A point to B point is you will take half, then again you will travel half distance, then again you will travel half distance, then again you will travel half distance, then again you will travel half distance. Now tell me, will there be any point that you will reach B? Can you ever reach B?
No, sir.
No, na? Right. So if you are very precise and you can walk half and half and half of everything, you can keep on doing halves and you will never reach B. That is why the first order reaction, it goes till infinity, it never gets completed. It never gets completed because half, T half is always same, 0.693, okay, 0.693. So that is why, as you can see, T half 0.693 and 0.63 plus 0.693. That means it is 2 times 0.693. Okay, so the correct answer will be equal to x is equal to y by 2 or y is equal to 2x. Okay, y is equal to 2x. Now, there are a few points here that you can eliminate these options also. Okay, how can you eliminate these options? How can you eliminate these options? See, the first option is y is equal to x by 2. Now, it is saying that 3/4. Okay, 3/4. It is saying that. Is my voice again okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now it must. I think. I hope it is fine now. Now, this option is saying that the time taken for 75% reaction is less than time taken for 50% reaction. That is not possible. If 50 hoga, when you will complete 50, then only you can go to 75. Now it is saying that 75 happened earlier than 50 because it is saying that time taken for 75% completion is half the time of 50%. So this can never be the correct option. This can never be the correct option. Then come to D. The A option and the D option are the same. Can you see that? If I put y here
Yes,
and 2 here, they will be same.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Now, what about this one? What about this one? What
I
about
would
this
go
one?
with B.
Sorry.
I said I will go with B.
You will go with B because this is correct. Exactly. Right. This is correct.
Yeah.
So you have to start eliminating a few options. Okay. You have to start eliminating a few options. Okay. Please write this question. Let
Yes,
me know
sir.
if you're done. Done, everyone? No. Similar type of question. This first order reaction half-life is a very conceptually strong point. Okay. After 5 half-life, after.
So can you scroll little up?
Yeah, sure. This is this. Please copy this image. Okay, this image is very crucial for T half of first order.
So what is the next question?
Okay, this is the next question. After 5 half-lives, what amount of reactant is remaining? You know, these questions, they will keep your head scratching. Reactant is remaining. Okay. Now again, tell me. It seems like nothing is given here. It seems like nothing is given. Okay, if you can determine, you can determine. But again, these are not numerical problems. These are conceptual problems. Okay, these are conceptual problems. After 5 half-life, what amount of reactant is remaining? Okay, so please listen here. 5 half-life. What does that mean? 5 half-life. So let us suppose at this point you have your first half-life. Okay, this is the T half first. Now, as soon as T half is completed, what happens? Now, the concentration, it does not depend on the, sorry, the rate does not depend on the concentration. T half does not depend on the concentration. Now, again, from here to here, you will go once again half of the distance, right? Now here you have 1/2 remaining. If you go from here to here, this will take the half time. This is the time axis and this is the concentration. Okay, this is time. And here we are writing the concentration. Now, how much concentration is remaining? How much concentration is remaining here? This is 50% reacted, 75% reacted. That means how much? 1/4 is remaining, right? 3/4 has reacted, 1/4 is remaining. Now, once again, if I go half, then again, this will also take T half. Okay, that means I will be remaining how much? Once again, half of 1/4 is equal to half 1/8 is equal to 1/8. Now, if I go furthermore,
1/16.
T half, this is 1/16. I have to go one more. Yeah, 1/16. This is 1/32. Okay, so this is the first half-life. In first half-life, the amount remaining is 1/2. Second half-life, the amount remaining is 1/4. Third half-life, the amount remaining is 1/8. In the fourth half-life, the amount remaining is 1/16. And in the fifth one, this fifth one here, the amount remaining is 1/32. 1/32. Okay, so you can write amount of reactant remaining is equal to 1/2 to the power n, where n is equal to nth half-life, right? Because, for example, for first half-life, 1/2 of the reactant is remaining. In second, you have 1/2 to the power 2, which is equal to 1/4. Now, for the third one, the amount remaining is how much? 1/2 to the power 3, which is equal to 1/8. For the fourth one, you have 1/2 to the power 4. 2 to the 4, 4 is 16, 1/16. For the fifth one, you have 1/2 to the power 5, which is equal to 1/32. Okay. So either you can draw this or you can remember this formula, okay? That the amount of remaining reactant is equal to 1/2 to the power n. N is the nth half-life. N is the nth half-life. Please write this down, raise your hand if you're done.
Yes, sir.
What about others? Abir, Amalya, Sania.
Sir, writing.
Okay. Wednesday, you have solutions MCQ, okay? MCQ. And this chapter is completed. Chemical kinetics is complete, okay? We have done rate of reaction, average instantaneous both, factors affecting rate of reaction, that is concentration, temperature, and catalyst, order and molecularity of reaction. We have done order and molecular rate law, specific rate constant, that is the rate constant, integrated rate equation, and half-life. Okay. So you have done everything here. Now we are just doing some questions. Anya, you're done? Write a question. For a chemical reaction, variation in rate with concentration shown as follows. Okay, so they have given you a graph. In that graph, they have plotted the rate here and the concentration here. Okay, the rate on the y-axis and the concentration in the x-axis. And the plot that they have made is like this. Okay. In this side is concentration, in this side is rate. They're asking a few questions. What is the order of reaction? What is the B? What are the units of rate constant? Okay. Okay. Any idea how to do this question? Wrong, Ahmed. Abir, you're raising high. I don't know why. Ahmed, tell me. Ahmed. Ahmed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me here. I have this concentration. Okay.
Yeah.
This concentration, what will be the rate? The rate will be somewhere. The rate is this much. Then I increase the concentration here, but still the rate is the same, right?
Yes, sir.
The rate is the same. That means the rate is independent of concentration,
Yes, sir.
right? So for A answer, what you will write, rate is equal to K into the concentration of reactant, and this is independent. That is why 0. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It is only dependent on rate constant. It is not dependent on the concentration of reactant. That is why this whatever A will be there, the reactant will be there, that will be 0. So what is the order of reaction? Order of reaction is equal to 0 order. It is 0 order. Now, what are the units of K? Now, since the concentration is what? Concentration is having the power 0, this will get eliminated, right? Anything to the power 0 is equal to 1. So K will be equal to rate. That means the units of rate constant will also be equal to the units of rate. And what is rate? Rate is concentration per unit time or molarity per second, which you can write as moles per liter per second. So these are the units, mole per liter per seconds. Okay. Now please tell me, are these tough questions or are these easy questions? When I do it, these are easy questions, right?
Yes.
Easy ones. Okay, so these are not very tough. These are a bit conceptual that you have to derive the rate equation from the graph, but these are easy. Okay, so don't miss these type of questions. Please write this down. Let me know if you're done.
Yes, sir.
Done. Now I am giving these type of questions. See, because SNE, if you have physical chemistry or chemical kinetics, then you will have only numericals. You can get theoretical type of questions also without any calculation. Okay, there is no calculation, but you can see this is tough also. Conceptually, it is a bit tricky. Please let me know if everyone is done. Ahmed, you are done. I have heard that. Amalia is done. Waiting for Abhi. Are you done? Okay, Abhi is also done. Fine. Okay, write a last question here. A reaction is First order with respect to A. It is first order with respect to A, and second order with respect to B. Second order with respect to E. First of all, A, write the rate equation. Rate law equation, okay. B part is what will be the rate if concentration of B is increased, if concentration of B is increased 3 times. C part, what will be the rate if concentration of A and B both are doubled? Okay, both are doubled. So for A, I will give you the answer. For A, it is equal to R is equal to K into the concentration of A with first order, so A to the power 1, concentration of B, B to the power 2. Okay. Now what you have to do, you have to do in B question. How will you do B questions? I think you have done these type of question earlier in the classes. Okay. So solution for B. For B, you have, see, rate 1. Initially, the rate will be equal to K into the concentration of A to the power 1, B into the concentration, B concentration to the power 2. Now, R2, when we have changed the concentration, so K will be K, we have not changed anything in A, so A will be A to the power 1, but B will become 3 times. So I will write 3B. I will write 3B and 3B square. So this will be equal to K, the concentration of A to the power 1, and we will write here 9B square. It is 9, so 9 will become here. Now what you have to do, you have to do R1 upon R2 is equal to K A to the power 1 B square divided by K A to the power 1 9 B square, right? 9 B square. So B square A K K, this will cancel. R1 upon R2 is equal to 1 upon 9. So it implies that if I put R2 here, this will be equal to 9R1. See, so this is how you do these type of questions. You just have to write the initial rate equation, then you will write the changed rate equation. Okay, so for B, it is what we are changing only for. We are changing only for the reactant B, and in C part we are changing both for A and B. So please write this fast. Let me know if you're done. Kabir is done. What about others? Ahmed, Amalia. Please do the C1.
Yes, I'm
Please do the C1, okay? So see here you will have
Sir.
R1 is equal to same thing. Yeah, tell me. My voice is lagging?
No. I mean to ask, you have to use R1 by R2 for C or just R1? R1.
Sorry? R1,
We
please
have
can you
to
repeat
use
that properly?
R1. We have
we
to
have to
use R1 by R2 or just R1 is doubled over here.
R1 is doubled over here.
R1. A and B, concentration of A and B both are double.
So we have to use R1 na, first initially, then R2, right? How is the rate of reaction change? We have to tell that. We cannot tell you accurately na, that what is the rate of reaction. We can only tell how the rate of reaction has changed when we increase it. What is the change if we increase it? Okay, so R2 will be equal to K into the 2A, because we have doubled the concentration, power 1, 2B, power 2. Okay, whatever you get, you will write R2 upon R1. And then you can see that the K will cancel out each other and the A's and everything, but you will have 2 to the power 1 and 2 to the power 2, and here you will have just 1, nothing else. Yes or no? Yeah. I mean, R2 upon R1 or R1 upon R2, you can do anything. That's fine. R2 upon R1 is equal to 2 to the 4 and 2, 8. So 8. So that is why you can write R2 is equal to 8 times of R1.
Yes, sir.
Everyone done? Now you have NCERT.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just wait a second. Let me get the NCERT. Okay, you will mark the questions that you don't have to, okay?
Okay.
Question number 22.
Sir, page number.
Exercise, NCERT exercise.
Sir, chemical kinetics, right?
Chemical kinetics, yes, right.
Question
26. These you don't have to do, okay? Don't do these. These are not in your syllabus. Don't. 27. 28, 29, 30. Let me see some other questions from before 22. Thermal decomposition, rate of reaction is fine.